Um, so I don't normally go live in the evenings, but today I just wanted to share a story. And for those who are watching now, those who are watching later, listen all the way to the end because this is kind of it's something that really came to me, and I just really wanted to share it. I think it's kind of profound, and I'm real excited. I'm real proud of it. Um, anyways, uh, this past week, and for those who've been following for a while, I've been having some struggles these past few months with like losses in my family and things like that. And so I want to share with you something that happened this past week. So, first, if you, and this is all about how your support system is super important and gets to really help you on this weight loss journey, right? This journey to a healthier lifestyle and healthier you, the support system is super, super important. And I don't think folks understand just how important it is. So if you don't have a support system, I'm gonna tell you why it's important to get one, right? And to have one and keep them in your life, especially when you're trying to lose weight or improve your health in some way, or even just overall improve, like whether it's physical, mental, spiritual health, right? All of those things, right? You really want to have a support system. So, just sharing with you guys a quick story. Uh, this past week, or actually over the past few months, we've had some major, major losses in my family. Um, and so, I've talked about how uh, through those losses, I began to step back into some old habits and actually picked up some weight. So, let me quickly introduce myself so I can tell you like the whole story. But I'm Ileka Falette, in case you don't know me. About 8 years ago, 7, 8 years ago, I lost 120 pounds. I did it through I did it naturally through exercise, shifting my eating, shifting my mindset and my relationship with food, and just sustaining and staying committed the entire time, right? So that's how I lost the weight, 120 pounds. And I kept it off literally until the end of last year. Like I'd go up and down 10 pounds, right? But I kept majority of it off until the end of last year. And that's when my aunt passed and I gained probably about 30 pounds because I had one aunt pass and I had another aunt pass and just some tough times in my family. And it literally brought the weight on. And so what's funny is for years, I was actually a weight loss and wellness coach. And I would share with my clients that based on what we were working on and how their relationship with food was shifting, there was no, they should not gain weight back even after working with me unless one of two things happen. Either you have a baby or major losses. And so that was my thing. Like I had some major losses. So here's why the support system is so important. And I'm going to share this through a quick story. This past week, last Tuesday, I actually had to go to Texas to visit a family member, right? I have a cousin who was passing. He was transitioning. He's very young, 33 years old, um, stage 4 cancer. It was really, really hard. So I went to Austin to, see him, to say goodbye, to see his family, his young kids, that whole thing. Really, really tough situation. Then I was coming back home on a layover on Thursday. So I came home for just a few hours. I had a long layover in my hometown, or in my city. And so my husband picked me up from the airport. And here's what I did. Got picked up from the airport and I immediately jumped into action. So first, oh my goodness, my son forgot his sneakers for track. Let me take those to his school. Dropped off his sneakers at school. Met my other son for lunch at his school. Because I've been gone for 2 days and they haven't seen me, so I wanted to make sure I saw everybody. Met him for lunch at his school, and then went and met my daughter for lunch at her school right afterwards, and then came home to meet my other son. Just to see him since he got up at school. And then here's what I said. I said, I'm doing all these things. And I said, I looked in the refrigerator and I was like, oh my goodness, the food that I made for you guys for the last 3 days is almost gone. Or for the week, it's almost gone. So I was like, let me go and, I can make a few steaks. I can make some chicken. I can make some things before I head on to the airplane, right? And so I'm like in the freezer trying to pull things out, trying to cook and just make them some food, before I leave, right? So they have something to eat because I had to go to my hometown after that for 2 days to say goodbye to my uncle because not say goodbye. I'm hoping, well, to see my uncle because he's got stage 4 cancer, and then also to bury one of my aunts. So crazy, crazy times, right? So, anyways, I had 5 hours at home, and I decided that I was going to spend these 5 hours seeing my kids, cooking, spending time with my husband, all these things. And as I go to get the food out of the freezer to start cooking, my husband says, "Can you just sit down?" He's like, "You got to process some of the things that you just went through. Like you just said goodbye to your cousin who you saw him come into the world, basically. Like I used to babysit him. He's young, right? Then now you're going to potentially, you know, you're going to see your uncle, right, who has stage 4 cancer, and bury your aunt's ashes, right? So like these are the things that you're doing, and you're asking, and you're trying to cook and do all these things in between. Just sit down and rest and relax, right? Like give yourself some space to do some things that are about you and not about other people. So in that moment, first of all, I thought I was like so good at self-care and doing things about me, right? But in that moment, when my husband told me to sit down somewhere, right, essentially, he was basically saying, I'm supporting you, because if you don't sit down and take care of you, then all these things that you're trying to do with your health and everything isn't going to work. Like you got to take care of you. So sit down, rest. We got you. And so at the end of the day, he essentially said, I need you to sit down. I need you to drink some water, have some tea, just rest. You got 5 hours in town and you ran all over the place to see everybody. And now you're trying to cook us dinner for the rest of the weekend. And so the reason I told that story is because basically, even in a time when things were really hard, I was still trying to take care of everybody else. And my support system, my husband, he stood in and he's like, hey, you don't need to take care of everybody else in this moment. Take care of you. And when I think about that, when it comes to health, when it comes to weight loss, when it comes to wellness, if we can step in and take care of ourselves in some of these moments that get really, really hard, then maybe it doesn't mean, maybe we don't go back to old habits. Maybe the weight doesn't come back. Maybe we continue to feel good versus, feeling sick and tired and all these things. Maybe we can take time to exercise and things like that. Maybe we do begin, to prioritize our health and prioritize ourselves again. And so that's why the support system is so important, because that support system gets to be accountability, right? Helping to keep you accountable to the things that you committed to. It gets to be, guidance sometimes, because he stepped in and was like, nope, sit down. You're not cooking us dinner. Like we know how to get food, right? And it also gets to be just that support when you're not feeling like yourself 100%. So if you don't have a support system right now, I really recommend that you get one, because it's super important. And if you're like, how the heck do I get one? I'm single, whatever the situation is, right? Then you could always, join some sort of community, some sort of group, support group. We also have different resources and things that we share in my newsletter, in my blog and website. So, and then even here, right? Subscribe to this channel. We can help to be your support system in that way, right? You could ask questions in the chat. Like we have comments, we have conversations down there. Like you can definitely do that in these videos, right? But also you can go to ilekafalette.com. We've got a really cool Facebook group where there's a lot of support. And there's a lot of folks who are in the same boat, like-minded, and may need that support. Sometimes you'll be giving the support. Sometimes you'll be getting the support, right? But join a community where that gets to happen, all right? So anyways, I just wanted to share that tip with you all so that you can, continue on with your journey in creating the healthiest life that you want to create, that you can create. All right. So be sure to subscribe, follow. We post videos usually every Sunday, but definitely wanted to share that story about how the support system gets to be really, really important in living a healthier lifestyle. All right. So I hope you do. I hope you're well. Thank you for watching. I'll talk to you guys soon. Take care.